Ladies and gentlemen, happy Monday. I hope you're doing well. I figured I'd jump on here and do a live stream. It's been a long time since I've come on here and live and just talk to you all. So I figured I'd open the forum and just take questions and see how you're doing out there. I've been on vacation with my family in Cape May, New Jersey. Really enjoying that time, but again, really missing this live community, and figured I'd just plug in today and see what people are working on. So happy Monday. So we got Eric 6014 taking your lessons and improved a ton. Dude, thank you. I appreciate that. Saul Hudson, how you doing? Birds, teas, and trees. Yes. 319 Marcus. Mike, hope all is well. All is well. Hope you're doing well too, my friend. Yes, connecting those triads like a beast. That's everything. We got Paul. Karsten Clanton, how do I apply the modes to improvisation? So here's the thing about modes, right? Don't overthink it. All the modes are, okay? The reason you would choose to play one mode instead of a different mode is just the chords that you're playing over. Simple as that. So, for example, you wouldn't say to yourself, oh, I'm going to make a jam in Dorian, and I'm going to see how that sounds like. You only choose to play in Dorian if the chords dictate it. And then when you outline the chords, you find yourself playing in that mode. So, for example, let's say I'm going to play in Dorian, right? Let's say I'm going to play in B Dorian, okay? So that would be the 2 chord in A major. So it's a minor chord, but built on the 2. So if I'm just in B minor, and I go to take a lead, right? If it's just a vamp, I could do Aeolian, right? Or I could do Dorian, right? The difference is whether or not you're playing that major third over E or that minor third, whether your 4 chord in B is major or minor. That's the difference. So if you're going B to E7, B minor to E major, then it would kind of make sense for you to say, oh, okay, I'm going to outline that G sharp, the note that makes that Dorian, and the rest would just be minor. So be it. Right? It's the chords that dictate it. Don't go into a jam and just say, "Oh, I'm gonna try this scale." I shouldn't say don't do that, but that's the context is king. All right, Bo, man, I appreciate that. Love you too. Paul, happy Monday from Ireland. Darylicious, happy Monday. Josh, I appreciate that. You've been subscribed for a few months, and my playing is and understanding the next improved tenfold. Man, that's the goal. That's why I'd love to feature Phil Kagi, Bobby. That's a good idea. Shoot me an email. That's why I made Guitar Gate, right? Because I'm condensing all the stuff that I know into a singular path and trying to make it as usable and practical as possible. So I'm so glad it's making a difference. Yes, Josh, talent is absolutely everywhere. If you hit the Mega Millions tomorrow, we're building that barn. Sold, sir. Man, that project has gotten. I wish I could change the landscape of what's happened. I think we all do in our construction and real estate climate in the past 3 years. It's become impossible. Really, it's become really, really hard. But all hope is not lost. I have some ideas. Josh Gilliam, hope you're well. How's my son's soccer team going? It's going great. I love that. It's a year-round team. They took a break for about a month-ish, and now they start up again this week. We will be in Hershey for the Hershey Cup this 2 weekends from now. All right. Let's see. Lamar, good afternoon. What is something that you don't think your students should all know, that I think your students should all know, that you're shocked that they don't? Ooh, that's a good question. What is something I think my students should all know, but are shocked that they don't? The three things that stand out are, one, do you actually check your tuning every single time before you play and practice, and just get a feel for what playing in tune is and practice being in tune? That always shocked me with my students, is how many people just don't practice in tune. Always shocking. Two, the thing that shocks me, again, shock is the wrong word, but that it's a guitar. I harp on this all the time. Guitar players tend to focus on the rhythm and the harmony and not the melody, right? Even when we go to take leads, we're like, oh, like the example I just said, we're going to take a lead in B Dorian, right? We're thinking about the harmony of the chords you're going over, instead of learning the melody, like the actual singable hook that the crowd's going to sing back to you on guitar. That is one thing that stood out for me when I went to music school. I was like, everybody knows the melody to every song that they play, except the guitar players. Even the drummers know the melody. They can sing along with it while they're playing drums. So that's the other thing. It's like, if you just play in tune, commit to being in tune, it'll help your ear, and learn the melody to every song that you learn. Like, seriously, learn the melody. Most of the answers there. Okay. Many vibes. Stories about playing live lately. So yeah, here's a fun one. I just sat in with Neighbor. I hope all of you are familiar with the band Neighbor. The guitar player Lyle Brewer is one of my very favorite players that I've come across in the past few years. Like, just a tremendous guitar player. And they invited me up. We played a couple tunes, and it was funny because I had been on vacation, so I hadn't played guitar in well over a week. And he was like, hey, you want to sit in? We're going to be there Friday. And I said, sure. And so I hadn't played guitar in a week. I was going to sit in with a band that I really look up to, but the point is, people I've never played with before, playing songs that I don't know, that I've never played with before. They sent me one song, an Eddie Money tune to cover, which I listened to in the car, and then came back and made a video and kind of figured it out. But then they gave me a different one that night of, didn't know it, and played the new PRS NF53, their take on the Tele. So I'm also playing a guitar I've never played with before. So again, was on the beach, hadn't played guitar, hadn't warmed up for anything. Played with a band I've never played with before, that's great. Played songs I've never played before on a guitar I've never played before. Amazing, right? So on that note, Anthony, so I was just texting my friend Gene, who runs all the PR, like YouTuber stuff at PRS, and she was saying that, from your video, I kind of seemed like you didn't like it. And as I responded to her, I just said, sometimes you got to get things out into the wild. You got to get them on stage and mixed with the band, and not just here behind the cameras and screens plugged into direct, to get a feel for what the instrument really is. And I got to tell you, it was fantastic live. Substantially better than I thought it was going to be. I really, really thought it blended great with his Les Paul. I thought that it cut in the perfect way, and kind of like I was alluding to when I made the video, it, on the treble pickup, it wasn't this ice picky thing, which I kind of like. It was so balanced that like it worked great in the room. Like it was exactly what it was supposed to be. It is really, really growing on me. I'm actually surprised I'm not playing it right now. It was great. I really enjoyed it. And I can't tell you how many people came up and commented on it by just saying how badass it looks, too. Like, I got the blackish one it's like the grayish wood grain going through it. And it just looks mean. It's awesome. So there you go. Okay. All right. People want to talk about gear. Block Party RV. So PRS seems to be the new go-to standard for guitar. Is that what people think? Because that's amazing if that's the case. So many really good players, professionals, are playing it. When did you start using them, and what was your go-to prior to PRS? So I, believe it or not, I did not start playing PRS guitars until I started working with them on my website, on GuitarGate. Very long story short, we're both from Maryland, and I have been, like everybody that lives here has been aware of PRS forever, certainly more so than if you were from somewhere else around the country. And I was trying to find a way to have, to get more exposure for my online lessons, because I wanted to be an online teacher and sell my courses and support my family and make a living teaching online. And so I just thought, well, let's partner with the manufacturer and try to get guitars to come with a way to learn them, right? Makes perfect sense, but really challenging. Anyway, that all didn't work out the way that I wanted it to work out, and I'm happy that it didn't in a lot of ways. Point is, it was through that lens that I got in touch with PRS. I could never afford a PRS. I never had one before that, and all the ones that I had played, I didn't like. They didn't resonate with me. Before that, my go-to was a PV Wolfgang that I'd been playing forever, and like an old school Fender Bullet. Like these were like incredibly different guitars. And I'm a minimalist at heart. I don't collect guitars. I don't have a lot of amps. I don't buy stuff really. I find one thing, one sound or two that I like, and I kind of stick with it, and I try to get better at my craft. It's kind of like my Tao, if you will, my whatever. And so when I started getting involved with PRS, they would give me guitars to put in videos, and I probably went through like, I don't know, 5 or 6 before I found one that I fell in love with, and that was this one. That was, let me hide this. That was the 594. And this changed everything. This guitar, literally this one, changed everything. And this has been my number one kind of since then. Now the Silver Sky has quickly become neck and neck with this one for my number one. Again, totally different instrument. But I'll just wrap this up and say that I've never been a gear guy in particular, and I've never thought that you could buy tone or that you could, buy your sound. And the main reason that I work with PRS and they work with me is because we respect each other, and I think they're a great company and they support what I do, and it's really not more complicated than that. I think that no matter what guitar you can afford or what brand, just get the one that speaks to you, that resonates with you, that you can't put down, and then just work on your craft. Don't worry about buying things to reach your goals. Like, it doesn't matter whether it's guitar playing or like, a good example of this is I'm a skier as well. And if I wasn't a guitar player, I'd probably be a ski bum in the mountains, something like that. And of course, I have all the friends that have all the new shit, right? Every year they get the new stuff that comes out. They got the heated gloves, they got the poles with that clip on, and they buy all their custom footbeds, and they're always talking about, oh, this many centimeters and this, and can't you feel the difference? And I'm just like, no. I don't buy any new stuff. I just work on my turns, man. I'm not trying to impress anybody. Like, I'm just trying to lay down my train tracks, trying to move my hips, trying to keep I'm just working on my turns the same way I'm working on my bends and slides. Like, yes, gear can hinder you, if it's not like a quality instrument or a quality ski or bike or car, whatever you're racing, I don't know. But it doesn't make the driver, if you will. So there you go. Mr. Tonic, how are you and all the mods doing? I'm going to jump into the Discord and start a little conversation soon. I've been noticeably quiet for a long time now, and I want to change that. So good to see you, my friend. Let's see. Yeah, it was the 594 that did it, and then the Silver Sky. But this is the best guitar I've ever owned. I mean, it's not even up for debate. Anybody that has played a 594, especially if you have a little smaller hands like I do, the 594 size is just magic. They've hit a lot of home runs. This one's a grand slam. It's just preposterous how good it is. Mr. Tonic, is the barn still a thing, or is it just a dream at this point? This is a good question. Someone brought this up before, and I'll address it. It is still a thing, but it is also a dream. A few things happened at the very same time, and one that I haven't talked about, but I will talk about it, just because why not? At the time I was going to build the barn, the price and the time frame were, let's go with one. They were one thing, okay? And then I always knew that the time frame was going to be about a year. This is in the height of COVID. And then, as we all know and remember all too well, the price and time of everything went insane. And literally, the price and the time frame doubled. To the point where I tried a bunch of different things, but I wanted to build it the right way. I didn't want to throw up a steel pole building. I wanted to, if I was going to do it, I was going to do it, right? You guys know how we are. And it became clear that what was going to take 1 year was going to take at least 2, and then it was going to cost at least double. So that's one. So I decided to press pause on it because I had to put a huge deposit down, and I didn't know when it was going to happen and how much it was going to cost when it got to me. Whatever. Then at the exact same time, a local recording studio came up for sale exactly where I live. And that really got my attention because I was thinking to myself, okay, well, here's this one thing that I'm chasing off a cliff that just gets more and more and more and more expensive and take longer and longer and longer and longer and longer. And then once it's built, I'm going to have to put all the gear in it, right? And then here's this other thing, which is old and distressed, but it's available now, so I thought. And it's on a separate parcel, so if it didn't work out, or if I wanted to sell it or do whatever, I could, because it's its own entity. Well, so I decided to put the barn on hold and explore this studio option. As it turned out, the sellers of the studio, after a long time of going back and forth, decided to keep it. And I don't know if they were just testing out the market or if they were just looking for a partner or what, but they decided to keep it. So lo and behold, they weren't actual sellers. But that process of negotiating with them ate up almost a year. But I was willing to do it because, again, it was older, but it already existed, and the equipment was already in there, and it was on its own parcel. So I figured the barn's not going to happen this year anyway, so let's see what transpires. Well, again, they ended up not being sellers after all and decided to keep it. And the time went by with the barn, and I lost my spot. And so kind of here I am in this limbo spot now where it's still a year out to be able to build one. The price is coming down a little bit, but it's still at least 50% more than I had the money for or had budgeted for originally. And I'm trying to figure out what to do. And that's the story. There you go. Okay. Hey, hello from Oslo, Norway. More Radiohead, please. I would love to do more Radiohead. Okay. Jocko, which one do you think is a better road for a cover band? Something for everyone from many genres, or play something more specific? Asking for a cover band friend. Jocko, if you didn't know this, if you remember on the website, I actually have a course about what we did in a successful cover band. If you haven't seen it, I go over this in detail. But both are great options. But here's what I can tell you. If you can be super niche, however you pronounce the word, that's great. If you can be, I hate to use the word gimmick, but if you can have a shtick or a gimmick, those are the best ones to be in. The ones that play everything for everybody, it gets watered down. Yes, you get a lot of work, but like, let me give you an example. Like, every town has their Journey cover band, their AC/DC cover band, your Van Halen cover band, or Elvis, whatever it is, and they all do great. But if you can have like an extra shtick, like in my area, the big one the first one that comes to mind is called the Amish Outlaws. Again, we're close to Pennsylvania. There's a big Amish population here, and there's a group of Amish guys who started a cover band, and they do, a bunch of different songs, but they're all like Amish guys, and they play to that whole shtick. These people clean up. They make, I want to say they're nightly. I don't see them going out for less than 8 Gs. I'd say most of them are 10 plus, and they are as busy as they want to be. So any time you can have a novelty, a shtick, something really unique in the cover world, that's where the gravy is. Interesting, but true. Okay. Let's see who else we have here. Ken Rhodes. Yeah, and thank you for the donation, Ken. I saw that come through. You do a lot for me too, man. I appreciate the support over the years. Yeah, a high-end guitar may inspire you, but you'll be surprised how many great records are played on cheap stuff. And one of the best guitar players in the game, Jack Peterson, plays a little cheap Fender Bullet, like Squier Bullet. It's amazing. Right, like Dread Zeppelin. Exactly. Those cover bands, they crush it. They crush it. Just, there's nothing wrong with being in a regular top 40 band with, an attractive female front, and a name everybody can remember, with great promo pictures and songs for everybody. That's great. But if you can really nail a shtick, if you will, like Dread Zeppelin's perfect example, they just crush. They crush. Because you're different and you stand out, even if you're playing the same tunes. All right. How was your sit-in with Neighbor? It was amazing. It was they're such good musicians. And they were so nice, and we just wung it. It couldn't have gone better. Video coming really soon. I'll probably do a react to my own performance just because people tend to really like those. And I'll talk about the things that went well and didn't go well. But I love that band. Crowd was great. Band was great. Crew was great. Definitely more of that coming. Josh, such good advice. You don't need a pricey model, right? Get a pro setup. This I wholeheartedly agree with. I have been playing guitar my whole life. I don't remember not playing guitar. I have preached in and out, high and low, about used gear, and the brand of the guitar is not where to start shopping, okay? And to not spend money on stuff and just find stuff that resonates with you. But I don't do my own guitar setups. I take my guitars to pros, to luthiers, to have them properly set up, properly maintained, and it makes all the difference. That I'm telling you, whether you get a $1,500 guitar or a $900 guitar, that $600 doesn't mean nearly as much as spending $120 for a pro setup. Totally true. Totally true. Okay. Yes, play what you bond with. Exactly. Let's see. Birds, bees, and how do we take your course? Guitargate.com. GUITARGATE.com. All of my courses, all of my lessons are part of a subscription. It's a package deal. And it's my life's work. I have like 12, 13, or 14 courses up there. So give it a gander. Thank you. Let's see what else we have. Spoofer. I love that name. Is there a way to know if a concert sound is going to be adjusted for vocals or for bass and drums? I've been to several concerts to listen to vocals and been disappointed. This is an interesting question. Is there a way to know if a concert sound is going to be adjusted? Well, Spoofer, it is always assumed that the sound engineer is one, in existence, as in there, that they have one, and two, that said sound engineer puts the vocals out front. But those two things are not, in fact, always the case. The real issue that you're alluding to is that when bands tour, sometimes they're inside, sometimes they're outside. Sometimes they're in a big steel room. Sometimes they're in a barn, sometimes they're in a grassy field. And the sound in all of those places is very, very different. And it's hard to get good sound, meaning you hear all the things that you want to hear clearly in every part of those rooms. The best thing you can do, always, is to try to get a seat next to the soundboard. So when you're on Ticketmaster or wherever and you're looking for seats, I know everybody generally starts thinking about the view. I would implore you all to, again, if you're leading with your ears, to look where the soundboard is. It'll usually say mix on the seating chart. That's the soundboard. And get a seat right there, because the person who's running the whole show is right there using their ears to see what it sounds like. There you go. Yeah, it's down there at the bottom. Conference calls, Josh. Conference calls. Let's see. Chris, is there a guitar player you've always wanted to see in person, living and dead? Oh, of course. Of course. I mean, there's endless amounts. Let's see. Well, dead is easy. If I could go back in time to see one show and one show only. This is actually a good video. This would be a great topic. I'd love to hear what you would think. But a lot of you might guess it. It would be New Year's Eve, Fillmore, 69 into 70. Jimi Hendrix Band of Gypsies, see Machine Gun. That would it. It would be to witness the Holy Grail of electric guitar playing. That's what I would go back to do. So that is an easy question to answer. Living, who is the guitar player I've wanted to see that I have not seen? I have seen most of the people I really want to see. I want to see Brad Paisley. I haven't seen Brad Paisley live. I want to see Tom Bukovac live. I want to see the country players. Is really that is the vein. That is the genre in which I have not seen a lot of my idols live. I don't know. You're very, very welcome. Yes, I did meet Shaky Graves. He came out to the crowd and said hi, and we hung out for a minute when he was at Hot August Music Festival here in Hunt Valley, in Towson, or Hunt Valley, Maryland, last year. Anybody here from Baltimore County or up there are going to it used to be called Hot August Blues, but Hot August Music Festival. Anybody going? I'll be going this year. I think I'm a sponsor. Shoot. I kind of asked about my interner was gone. I don't even know what that means. How much did you invest as an intermediate? $1,000 or less. Pretty much always what I invest. Queens of the Stone Age is at the Anthem next week? No. I would like to go to that, though. But I have such a crazy week. Check this out. I got to pull up my calendar, and I got to see. But I am going to, let's see, this week I am filming. Saturday, I'm going to see Pantera in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Let me know if any of you are going. Then Sunday, I am flying to Oklahoma City to meet with Robert Keeley and tour the factory down there and see what comes of that. Also visit my friend Noah. Then I come back, and the following week is just insane. I got a soccer tournament, and then I'm going to P-Funk here in Baltimore on Tuesday the 15th. Billy and the Kids, Pier 6 with Donato right there. Also that night is Montes Yahoo at Soundstage in Baltimore I might go to. Afterwards, it depends. I'm going to see if Billy and the Kids, Donato, or anybody wants to hang out. Chances are high. Then Friday the 18th, I'm going to Umphreys here in Baltimore, Pier 6. And then the 19th, the Saturday, is Hot August Music. And then, again, Donato's going. We're going to try to, he's going to stay a day later, I think, and we're going to try to make a video then. There's just so much. And it just goes on and on and on and on and on. Yeah, I believe it's the last run for George and the Boys. I know artists say that, so you never know. But it's crazy. Such a life, right? Such a life. All good things. It's basically making videos and emails, youth sports, and trying to get to shows whenever I can. Shows are the hardest part, that's for sure. What else you guys got going on? No, I have not heard of Eric Tesmer. I have not. Yes, Mr. Tonic. I've seen John McLaughlin and Santana, but not Al Di Meola. That would be a good one to see. You know, MT, I know why people say this, but as a Pantera fan from way back, the brothers would be smiling and very much support this because they put the fans first. And letting the air be filled with their music again and letting the fans who never gave up on heavy music hear those songs again played by their family members and best friends would is just so, it's so Pantera. Like, it just is. I'm absolutely pumped for it. You should go to a show. Okay. Dr. D, why do all guitar instructors make triads so confusing? I don't know. Do we? Do we make it so confusing? It's very simple. I think it's just easier to see on piano. But a chord is made up of 3 notes: your root, third, and your fifth. So for G, that's G, B, and D. And you can remember it that way. In fact, I encourage you to. Just you're skipping a note each time. If it starts on G, G, B, D, right? B, D, F, A, C, E, right? C, E, G. Just remember those clusters. And that's all a triad is. A root, third, and a fifth. Your root positions where you start on the name of the chord. First inversions where you start on the third. Second inversions where you start on the fifth. That's it. Okay. No. I wish I could. I haven't in years. For people who are subscribers on the website, I will do one-offs that kind of point you in the right direction. And if you're going for 6 months or a year and you feel stuck and you want another one, I'll do that. But I can't commit to regular times. My life is just too insane in a good way. Yeah, Mr. Tonic, exactly. You want the music to continue forever. That's the thing I think. I don't know why people get confused about this. And confusion is not the right word, but like, people get really hung up on the people that make the songs and make the music. And then when they die, they're just like, it's over. But that is so contrary to the goal of making art and expression. You're trying to become transcendiary. You're trying to make something that lives on past you and connects and touches other people ad infinitum. That's the point of making art, right? Is to transcend our basic human selves, and so, of course, you're gonna want it to continue. Obviously, obviously, it's like what a better, that's the best thing in the world. Okay, let's see. Yes, Connor, I definitely did. Let's see. Thoughts on Weather Vanes. Have you had a chance to see Amanda Shires perform? No, I haven't. And that's the guy. That's the band. Him that I haven't seen that I want to. I want to see Jason Isbell. That's who I want to see. I want to see him, the 500 unit, 400 unit, and Amanda Shires. That's the big outlier that I haven't seen that I really want to, very much. Yes, but the new album's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I should make a video. Be Cheeseburger. Have you ever done anything with Paul Davids? No, I haven't. I have met Paul a couple of times. I don't think we clicked, honestly. But not in like a bad way. I think that like Paul's one of these guys that a lot like Tyler from Music Is Whim, who are so laser focused in what they do, and they're so, I don't want to say perfectionist, but like they don't just like wing it like I do, you know? Like, I do unedited, unscripted videos. Like, I don't try a bunch of different camera angles. I don't, I'm just not that type of person. So, like, even though we both make YouTube videos on guitar, that doesn't mean that we don't come at it from extremely different places. So when we met, that's kind of what it felt like, you know? It felt like, and we've all met like numerous times, but you just tend to bond with people like yourself. It is not different in any way than meeting other musicians, right? If you're a natural improviser and you go with the flow and you're just like, yeah, throw me into anything, you bond with other musicians like that. But at the same time, you know, if you meet somebody who's just so, like, polished and like presents this perfect thing every time, and isn't this laissez-faire kind of guitar player, kind of, you know, artist, there's a respect there between the two of you, but you just, like, you do it for different reasons at different things. It's just simple as that. But yeah. You haven't seen Tedeschi Trucks, Mr. Tonic? Yes, you have. Yes, you have. Everybody needs to see Tedeschi Trucks. Let's see. Oliver. Love Gary Moore. One of the best guitar players that's ever lived. Love Gary Moore. More 89 Alpine Dead. I know, everybody wants more. See, the problem is now is that I've listened to a lot. It's not like when this journey began on YouTube, or at least sharing, or, you know, reacting to Dead performances and other jam stuff on YouTube, where I hadn't heard that much and everything was new and ice cold. Now I'm on the other side where it's like, you know, I have all the tapes. I've listened to like a lot, you know? So it's kind of funny doing as many videos because it's not like I don't know them, you know, like, yeah, sure. There might be the performances or bits of it that I don't know, but it's just, it's like I've spent the past couple of years, like, listening to that band more than any other band. You know what I'm saying? 89 more 69. Oh, dude. Okay. No, I'm not familiar with Ed Tulit. No, I'm not. Shoot me an email with the link. support@guitargate.com. Saul, you're welcome. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. What do you think of headbanger bands like Blind Guardian? I have no idea who Blind Guardian is, but I'm a headbanger from way back. Chances are I'd like it. There's another one. What's your opinion on Camp or Sumbunk? No idea who those bands are. Thoughts on Tuck Andrus? No idea who that is. Adam, do you listen to Porcupine Tree? Yes, I am aware of Porcupine Tree. They did block one of my videos, though. Did it go up? It may have eventually gone up. But they're very, very good. Very balanced. Very balanced. Let's see. Random guitar chord question. What would you call a 046650? Well, this is C sharp minor. And if you let the open strings ring out, you're just putting the third in the bass and the top, right? So the E is in the bass. You could call it you could call it some fancier things if you wanted to. You could make it an E something, you know. You could do, it'd be E major 6, but it's C sharp minor over E. Yeah, I don't. Hit me. Yes, I love Tim. Tim is amazing. Search up for a video for Tim and I. We've done a few together. Easily the biggest supporter of mine when I was early in the YouTube game. At one of my heroes and one of my mentors. One of my closest friends. Okay. Do you feel like people want you to review music that they like, largely as a hope that you'll confirm that they're into good music? Yes. I don't know if I'd put it that way, but I would say that yes, people want other people to feel about the things they like the way they feel about it. I mean, absolutely, it's affirmation. 100% it is based in affirmation. Not that they need the affirmation. They're going to like what they like regardless, but they want to find other people that like it the way they do, right? That's the basis of communities. Let's see. Mr. Tonic, how's the response been so far for the hybrid picking lessons? Well, thanks for bringing that up. It's been fair. To be totally honest, I haven't done a great job promoting it and making videos promoting it and showcasing it. And that's my own fault. I'm really not the best at promoting my products and things for sale, as many of you might think. But you know, the thing about hybrid picking is that it really stems from all of my other teaching. Like everything's about triads and everything's about chord tones. And what makes hybrid picking so powerful is that you start thinking about your chords and chord tones and your triads with both hands, like a piano player would. Not just we do this with one hand and this one does the notes. You're thinking about the notes in this hand. And it makes a permanent change in your playing. So for anybody out there that's curious, the hybrid picking roadmap is live on GuitarGate, and I would love to know what you think about it. But if you haven't already dug into the previous lessons, especially on the triads, you're probably going to be lost because a lot of people might click the course thinking it's all about technique. And of course there are technique lessons in there, but it's really mostly about thinking about the neck like a piano player would. It's about thinking about your harmony and your triads in your picking hand, not just your fretting hand. Okay. Yes, make some hybrid shorts. That's a good idea. Life of Nurse. I've been dying to get the answer to this. What actually happened with the fish videos? Well, I've gone over this a long time ago. I don't know if you're referring to like did I actually delete the videos? And the answer to that is yes. I don't have them. But as far as what happened with me and the band, what I've said a million times is true. You know, they blocked a bunch of videos and it was a very, I had a public blow up about it. We ultimately spoke and agreed to disagree, but everybody's friendly and fine, and now there's no issue there. But mostly I stopped doing fish videos because the fans, a very small percentage, but that very small percentage was very loud and powerful, really were trying to hurt and inflict pain on me and my channel. And I just didn't want to have those people in my life. And so sometimes the best thing to do when there's something going like that is just to not put any more fuel on the fire and just kind of just let it do its thing, and not respond, not address stuff, and just kind of let it go. And that's kind of what happened there. But no bad blood at all. No bad blood. There he is. Anthony, how are you, my friend? Listen, Mark and I really want to come up to the barn. We really want to. Let's figure that out. Let's see. Preston, you're going to Pantera tonight. Where are they? I'd love to know what you think. Alex from Madrid, Spain. Alex, good to see you. Somebody said Polyphia is the future of metal. I don't agree at all. What is your opinion? Alex, I agree with you. I do. I hate talking about things like this, but when you say the future of metal, that means like, what does metal mean to you, right? And the future of metal, that word, that genre might mean something in the future, okay? So when I say no, I agree with you, it's because I don't view that as metal. That is not the metal that that's not metal to me. That is instrumental prog music to me. I like my metal to have vocals too, man. Like kind of think that maybe there should be song in there. That's not taking away from their incredible musicianship, like just awe-inspiring, jaw-dropping musicianship. But call me old or old-fashioned, or whatever. I really don't. Outside of classical music, I don't really like songs that aren't songs. I don't really listen to instrumental music, regardless of genre. It's never really done anything for me at all. There you have it. So, yeah, Opeth. Opeth is a metal band. They're progressive as all get out, but you gotta sing. You gotta have songs. Songs, people. Songs. Like, they're the best. Songs are the best. Songs are the best. Okay. Now, what else we have here? Warren Haynes has some sick solos when performing with Dave Matthews. Would you ever do a reacts to that? Of course I would. I feel like I have. I don't remember. Instrumental prog. Very different. Very different. Seeing Tool in Boston in November. Exactly. Let's see. What's your opinion on Rickenbackers? I haven't played a Rick in 10 years. Easy. I don't remember at all what it felt like. I think they look really cool, though. I got nothing. I'm not your person to ask gear questions. Okay. Let's see. McLeod, no, I haven't. Appreciate the good feels, though. Yeah, I'd love to do more Kendrick Lamar stuff. Send one to me. God, I wonder what that guy's doing. I'd love to do a collab. We've talked a bunch. I've popped into their streams before. I don't know. It just kind of got put to the wayside. But I would love to do that. Let's see. Who's your go-to band, old or new, when I just want to chill? Reggae, man. I listen to reggae when I want to chill. I listen to the old, Wailers records and Peter Tosh records and Third World and Aswad, Black Uhuru, obviously Jimmy Cliff, and the older heads. But if I'm chilling, I generally listen to reggae, especially when it's snowing in wintertime. All right. You're another person saying Blind Guardian. I have no idea who that is. Let's see. What else do I have here? Oh, this is a good question. Been on GuitarGate for a couple years. Thank you. I'm not able to practice often because of medical stuff. I'm sorry to hear that, man. What other ways do you recommend learning to play when you can't play? Well, if you can't play, the thing to work on is listening. And what I would recommend is trying to work on becoming an active listener. Meaning, start trying to hear chord progressions. Like, this is a 1 chord. We've arrived back home. That's a 4. That's a 5. So even if you're driving in the car, right, try to actively think about the progression that's being played. So you're not going to be able to figure out the key. You're not going to be actually playing, but you should be able to hear when the chord progression comes back to home base, right? That's the 1. So start there. Like, I'm driving. Where is the 1 everywhere? I'm going through the song. Where's the 1? And then work on the 4, work on the 5, things like that. Becoming an active listener is the thing, for sure. Let's see here. Have I not done any Tom Petty? Sure I have. Well, I have been working on a hit song formula for Tom Petty for freaking months. Does anybody else out there start stuff and just not finish stuff all the time? I am so bad at that. I need to get my life together and start doing that, finishing these things that I start. But I love Tom Petty. And Mike Campbell is one of the most underrated guitar players. He is the guy, certainly one of the top guys that come to mind when I think of like the peak of what I aspire to do as a guitar player, which is coming up with things again that get stuck in everybody's brain. If you can make guitar parts that non-guitar players can sing and expect to hear when they hear the song, that's the peak of the mountain, my friends. That's it. That's what makes David Gilmour, right? It's guys like Mike Campbell, where like the actual guitar parts are hooks that forget about non-guitar players, non-musicians in general, not only do they love it, but they can sing it. And if you go to cover it and you don't get that part, they might not even know why it doesn't sound right, but they know it doesn't sound right. They're like missing something. They don't know the song. That's real stuff right there. And Mike Campbell is one of the flag bearers of that. Yeah, I know you all do. This is why we're all friends. And you're all very forgiving. I know. I'm really trying to change that. 10 to 1. 10 to 1. 10 to 1. That's it. Yeah, earworms. Why did Beato say he won't play the Dead? Because they block everything, but they don't block them from you. Oh, boy. Sometimes they do. But I have done... All right, well, there's a couple pieces to this. One, Rick and I are friends, by the way. So, like, I can say this. It's not speculation. Like, we talk all the time. Rick doesn't play live tracks. Rick is a studio producer. Like, that's a main part of his background. And so he likes to showcase the studio albums and talk about the production. When you play studio albums, that's its own publishing thing, right? That is way different than if I play a live record that wasn't recorded and published by the band, especially if it's a bootleg or fan footage, right? These are one's gonna always not hit the bots, and one's like might sometimes. So that's the first part. No matter what he does, he's always going to get dinged because he's always playing the studio stuff, which you're always going to go have issues. The second part of that is that when you do have issues, you can form relationships with the people on the other side, and they can white label your channel or lift blocks or do etc. And you can make friends in this game. And for whatever reason, there's a solid group of publishers that, through becoming friends or just disputing and appealing hundreds of Content ID claims, have just stopped trying to block me. It's amazing how much has changed in the past 3 or 4 years. Like, it's truly unbelievable how quickly and how dramatically the scene has changed. With one notable exception, and that's live streaming. When you play stuff on a live stream, not a pre-recorded video, there's nothing you can do about it. It is, those takedowns have gotten worse and worse and worse and worse over the years. But yeah, that's the answer. It's just different. I don't think Rick's got pretty good karma. Yes. I would love to do an update video on Tori. Man, I listened to her first few albums back to back on repeat for weeks after I did that video. Easily, without a doubt, one of the favorite artists that I dove deep on in the history of doing this channel and finding new music through this format. Can't say enough about how much I love Tori Amos. Cannot. Of course, in every aspect of life. Now, you'll get older, so you might get slower or have less dexterity or whatever, you know? Hell, you could cut a finger off. But your ears will get better. The connection between the ears and your hands will get better. You will always continue to get better if you choose to. Absolutely. Janya, who did I vote for in 2020? Well, I'm just going to say this now. I don't do politics. To a fault. I know many people say that, not making a choice is still a choice. But I don't, even at the local level, I'm very involved in my local community. And when I mean local, I mean kids' youth organizations, like fundraising for the schools. Like, I mean my local community. I couldn't imagine being more involved in my local community. But even one peel of the onion past that, I don't even consider it. I never consider who's running for what. I never read any articles. I don't ever watch the news, ever. I don't participate in any part of that machine. I am laser focused on my family, my work, my wife, my community, and trying to make all those things grow and live in harmony. And everything else is just going to be what it's going to be, for better or worse. I don't know if that's right. I don't know if it's wrong. But I can tell you that I just only worry about the things that I can control and that are in my direct sphere of influence. And I try to put as much positivity into the world as I can and work as hard as I can and help and inspire as many people as I can. And I don't lose 1 second of sleep about who's in any elective office anywhere. I don't give a shit. All right. Do I listen to any bands in the Christian scene? Probably. I don't know. Yes, we should do that. I was away. I was actually sitting on the beach when I saw that she passed away. Yes, I'm going to make a note of that. I don't know which one to do. I guess you could definitely do Nothing Compares to You, but I feel like everyone's going to do that. stinging me. Oh, Jesus. Looks like one of my kids is sick. Jesus, just keeps happening. Yeah, exactly. I couldn't have said it better. I chose music for a reason, right? Let's see. I don't follow the news. Oh, but people send me stuff when musicians die. Let's see here. Well, you know, so this is a good conversation, actually. So it doesn't matter whether it's Sinead O'Connor or like I was just talking about reggae. What music is more political? I shouldn't say that. I mean, reggae is in so many ways, you know, the goal of reggae is to be this, like you're preaching this spirituality. So whether it's political or ideological or spirit, whatever it is, it's, you know, you are, there's a goal there, you know, in a lot of ways. Like, but the goal is this oneness, is this togetherness, you know, largely. You know, I don't want to get into to minutia, but the point is that it has been my experience that how do I even phrase this? The music that I love that is political in nature, like Rage Against the Machine. You don't have to agree word for word with what the artist is actually saying, like you're reading it on the paper, to understand and respect the vibe, the attitude, right? The visceral nature of the music, to feel that person's expression. You don't have to agree with that person to feel that person, to feel what's going out there, and to respect that they need to make it, they want to make it, and that what they're making is pure and true to them. To them. Like, you might not feel how Bob Marley felt or Zach De La Rocha feels about police or whatever it might be, okay? But you can't doubt that they feel that feeling is true and real and visceral and unique to them. And that's the power. That's what art's all about. It's not about it's not an advertisement for something, right? It's a reflection in the mirror of a person in a time and place who's been through whatever they've been through and wants to get wherever they think they need to go, and dealing with everything it means to be human in the meantime, right? It really bothers me when people can't separate all these different. Humans are such complicated people, especially artists. We choose to make art because we feel so deeply we almost can't cope with the rest of the world, right? So when we make something, it hurts us so much to make it anyway. We don't even want to fucking put it out, but we choose to because we have to, because we can't live with ourselves if we don't say what we're seeing and feeling. And the best art is when there's nothing in between and we're just a conduit for that seeing and feeling. And you don't have to feel the way that we do or see the things that we do to believe what we're saying is true to us. Right? Right? Exactly. Yeah. Sean, what's up, brother? Talk a little bit about harmonizing leads, Allman Brothers and the like. Sure. So, I just learned this Eddie Money tune. What the hell was it? God damn it, I forgot it already. God God damn it, I forgot it. Anyway, it is the it is 2 Tickets to Paradise that I just played with Neighbor, and I had to learn this part, which is I don't know why I can't remember the vibe. This is the nature of learning too many tunes. Point is, we got together and it started. It's in the key of A. It's A mixo, and C sharp, D, E is that first little part. And I was like, oh, we should add a harmony. I think it's in the record. Because I listened to it and they certainly do it live, and we decided to add it on there. And so we just added the next step in the chord. So, we were talking about triads, the root, third, and the fifth. Well, this melody starts on the third, C sharp in the key of A. So the fifth of that chord would be E. So I'm just going to add the next spot of each triad to create that harmony, right? And that's how harmonies are built. You're just, for the most part, starting with third-based harmonies and playing the next interval in the chord. So it's not like you get the notes C sharp, D, and E, and you could play anything with those. You're figuring out what key you're in, so what's the context, and then you want to start by just thinking like, okay, that's the piece of a chord. Each one of these is a piece of a chord, and you just play the piece that isn't being played. That's basically what you start. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Many vibes. How do I feel about AI? I was thinking about this a lot when I was playing with Neighbor and I was watching the band. Some things are going to be sacred, and they are going to be more sacred in some genres versus others. Those of us that like seeing bands improvise and jam and come to shows for that human experience are going to have that, and we're going to support artists and bands and groups that do that. And I don't think there's any risk of that going anywhere. But for mainstream pop music, where you are trying to craft hits for the next generation, if you will, I think AI is going to play a tremendous role. I think I don't know what it's going to look like or sound like, but we've already seen people making hit records and getting these huge songs and massive careers just with their computers and not playing the instruments and making music that's connecting with millions of people on a global scale. So it's been proven that music can be made consistently without people actually playing the actual instruments and having fixed vocals and stuff like that for a long enough period of time, and consistently making stuff that connects with people on a global scale, that genie's never going back in the bottle. If people can use AI tools not just to create new music, but just to speed up the process of that, of course it's going to take over. Of course it's going to take over. I think that there's never going to be something that connects with people like an unedited human voice, an unedited, raw, mistakes and everything, human playing an instrument in real time. I think that musicians that play for the fun of music are going to do that. Nothing's going to be more fun than playing with other musicians and learning to be in an ensemble and play with other people. I don't think that fun feeling, which I don't know anything more fun in my life that I've ever done, and I've done a lot of fun stuff than playing music with other people in real time. That is not at risk of going anywhere, but it's going to have to be supported by people like us that will go and support these artists and go to these shows, because there's no record industry, and support that live music. But as far as like the music that's taking over the world, that's on in commercials and TV and stuff like that, that's being made on computers and increasingly with AI, like that's only going to accelerate. It's going to super duper accelerate. And so I say all that to say, like, I kind of put things in two categories. There's like the music as the product for like we need music for products, like to put in ads, to put in movies, like to be the soundtracks of our lives. Like we need that. And that's one thing. But then there's the people playing the music, and the people that play the music because of the joy it brings them and how connected it makes them feel with the other musicians and the audience and living in that symbiotic relationship. That's a drug. That's a deeply human interaction that I think the advent of AI is going to only make that stronger for those that live in those worlds and support those groups. So I think both will thrive is my point. That's my gut. Hey, Jamie, you're welcome, man. Thanks for jumping on here and saying hi. I will be at the show in Annapolis. Hopefully I get a chance to say hi to you, man. Hell of a player. For anybody and a singer, for anybody that's in here, hasn't seen that, watch my latest video that just dropped. Jamie's a bad man. Totally loved it, brother. Thanks for jumping in here and saying hi. Let's see. Yeah, that's the thing. It's the magic. Those of us that love live music, there's a magic there. We live for the live stuff, you know? Just think about all your friends and family members that get a DJ instead of a band for their wedding. Right? Like, the people that are going to hire DJs and just want to hear, like, they're going to do what they're going to do anyway. We're going to do the other thing. Right? You know that. Okay. Let's see. It's so hot. Speaking of rabbits, it's so hot in Texas. I saw Cody chasing a rabbit and they're both walking. It's ridiculous. Where'd you guys get off on that? I don't know. I don't know that person. Well, all right, my friends. Thank you for tuning in here. I'm going to call it here. Again, for all you out there, I know I haven't been live much lately. I'm trying to change that. Trying to make some major changes in my life right now. And I just want to say thank you for those that support me and support the channel, support this endeavor to find good music and live music and to become better guitar players. So have a great day. Take care. I'll see you all very, very soon. Thanks for tuning in, and I love you so much.